famous, like, picturesque places on the whole of the south coast, and we can see it over here. Now, this essentially is a bay, but it's an unusual bay because it formed in a different way than the way that most bays form. So we know that most bays, tomorrow when we go to Swanage, you'll see it, is formed on a discordant coastline. So we've got hard rock, soft rock, hard rock at 90 degrees to the sea. So the soft rock gets eroded in between two headlands, leaving a bay. But we know here that this is actually a concordant coastline. So actually we've got the hard rock in a row parallel to the sea. So it's unusual that we've got a bay. But what's happened here is because we've only got a thin line of the Portland limestone, the sea has managed to break through that, and they think probably because of a river coming down here and possibly in the last ice age. And once it's got through, it's been able to spread out and erode all of this softer Wealden clay, forming this beautiful little bay before the hard chalk at the end has actually stopped it. Now, another thing that you can see today really quite nicely, which is a bit more complicated stuff, is you can actually see what we call wave refraction. So if you look very carefully into the bay, you can see that the water's coming through a tiny little area and then it's spreading out. So as a result, the waves are losing power, and that's why we've got a nice little beach forming at the back, even though we know that there's quite a stormy kind of coastline where we'd expect to get cliffs rather than beaches. So the waves are coming in, you can actually see them today spreading out and losing energy. Now, there is kind of an argument that even if that hard rock wasn't there, it wouldn't get any bigger because the waves have lost all their power when they get in the bay, and as a result, they're like constructive rather than destructive. So we do have that hard rock, but actually people would argue that even if we didn't have that hard rock, it wouldn't get any bigger. Now, what we think will happen next is that area there eventually will do exactly the same, and it will become another bay like this. Okay, just like that one, we'll get another one forming in there, and eventually, maybe in like 100,000 years, they may join together, and this area in the middle will gradually get eroded, and we'll end up with what we saw over there at Durdle Door, with that kind of two bays together with that line of rocks of the sort of stump. So eventually this will probably end up looking like what we saw over there at Durdle Door.